Hi everyone, and welcome to our art lesson. Today we're going to look at a few different things. To start with, we're just going to have a look at some abstract art to see what you think of that and what things you could pick out. Then I'm going to give you two short activities which aren't based on abstract art, but they should get your creative minds working. So abstract art, what is it? It is modern art which does not represent images of our everyday world. It has colour, lines and shapes, but they are not intended to represent objects or living things. So you often get people being extremely creative and using lots of different styles to create some abstract art. And with that in mind, I'm going to show you three famous bits of abstract art, and you can have a look at those and see what you make of them, what your opinion is, and see if you can pick out anything that you think represents reality, even if the artist hasn't intended that. So one of the most famous abstract artists was Kandinsky, and this is a piece that they made in 1939. So pause the video and just have a look at this painting and see what you think it shows. What can you pick out? What shapes, what colours? What do you think it looks like based on what you've seen in real life, even if they don't intend that? So just pause the video, have a look at this very famous painting. The next artist we're going to look at was Jackson Pollock, and he painted this piece of art in 1952. And he used a very interesting technique called dripping. So he'd either drop paint on or flick it. And there's some very interesting videos online of him making his art. Kind of imagine him flicking a paintbrush and seeing what appears. So if you pause the video and have a look at this one and see if you can find your favourite part, what you think it looks like, what does it represent, or what does it mean to you, what sort of emotion does it make you feel? What does it make you think of? And the last piece we're going to look at is this one by Bridget Riley, which was made in 2014. I believe it's called Quiver 3. So this one's quite interesting. So just have a look at it and see how it makes you feel. Does it make your eyes go a bit funny? Because it certainly makes my eyes go a bit funny. And if you move your eyes in different directions around it, if you blink fast, if you blink slow, if you try not to blink and not move your eyes, get closer and further away, how does it make you feel? What do you see? What kind of shapes can you see? Is it just one shape? Is it more than one shape? See what you think of this piece of art. Okay, so that was a very quick introduction to abstract art. So things you don't see in reality, but you can create using your imagination, using shapes and colours. So maybe you might want to try that in your art today, maybe. Okay, so we've got a 5-minute challenge before we move on to our main activity. And the challenge here is just a bit of fun. So you put a 5-minute timer on and see if you can draw a fish in something other than water. So where can you imagine a fish being? You can imagine it being somewhere it might occur naturally. So it's jumped out, landed somewhere, or you can put it in a very strange setting. So for example, could you put a fish playing football, or could you put it inside a castle on a throne? Where can you think of to put your fish, and how are you going to draw it? Perhaps you could look up some pictures online of fish, or you can just draw one using your imagination. Really interesting to see what you come up with for this short challenge. Okay, and the main activity today is to make a split self-portrait. So I'll put up a file on Teams and Tapestry that will go through the instructions of how to create a self-portrait. What you're going to be asked to do is make half a self-portrait today, and you'll see why in a second. And then you'll make the other half using your interests and hobbies. So let's just have a look at a few examples that I have found. So this is a split self-portrait. So on the left of the picture, this girl's drawn a picture of her face, of how she sees herself. And then on the right, she's drawn a picture representing her favourite things. So you can see that she likes basketball, she likes cats, she likes art and music, and I think there's a picture of a camera there as well, so perhaps she likes photography, and there's an animal's ear, so maybe that represents a cat's ear or a different pet's ear. And then this is another portrait of a lady, and so she's got really neat hair on the right, and it's a bit funky on the left, and she's got a pencil in it. It looks like she likes art with the paint and the colours and the paintbrush and the pencil. And then we've got To Kill a Mockingbird, which is a very famous book. So maybe you could think about sort of things that you'd really like to put in the other half of your self-split portrait. Let's have a look at another one. So this one is a self-portrait. It looks like, to me, they're blowing a bubble using bubble gum, and then they've cleverly used a football to form the other half of that bubble. And then we've got a few things on the right that they like. So there's Abercrombie, so they like fashion. There's a strawberry, so maybe they like strawberries or fruit. There's sunshine, so maybe they like basking in the sun and maybe sunbathing or just sunny weather. There's a picture of money and music. And the picture, I'm not quite sure what this picture is of here. Maybe you can figure that out. And we've got one more to look at. So we've got this one here of a boy who's drawn his split self-portrait. So he's done half his face here representing what he looks like, and then this half is things that he enjoys, his hobbies, his interests. So it looks like he quite likes animals. There's a snake, an elephant, I believe that's a monkey, maybe it's a bear hanging from a tree, which would be interesting. There's a bird, there's a balloon, there's an ice cream, banana, if that's for him maybe, or for the monkey. This looks like a giant cookie to me, but I'm not sure. Then we've got a pencil up here and a rubber, so maybe they like drawing as well. You can see they've had a bit of fun trying to do some shading here and some different colours for the clothes. So your activity today is to do a split self-portrait. So half your face, so try and draw half of your face. You might draw it from a picture of you. You might be glancing in the mirror. You can think how to do that using the instructions you are given on the file that I will put onto Teams and Tapestry. And then the other half, fill it with your interests, things that you really like. I suppose you could have things that you don't like in there as well, things that you dream of doing. Maybe this summer, and hopefully things are a bit more back to normal, you might dream of doing those things. They could be put in there as well. Perhaps the top half could be your dreams, and the bottom half could be things that you're really interested in already, but that's completely up to you. And then you can play with the sort of colours that you are using. All right, really looking forward to seeing what you come up with that year 5, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you. Bye.